Welcome back to Bold. I'm your host, Isabel Garcia. Today, I have literal St. Thomas royalty. I have Mr. and Mrs. UST. Welcome to Bold, guys.
Hello, my name is Youssef, graduating senior, going to walk this Saturday. I am going to be finishing up my BS in cell and molecular biology, and I'm excited to wrap up my journey here of 4 years at UST.
And my name is Margaret Gaston. I'm also a senior, and I'll be graduating next Saturday. So crazy, with my bachelor's in science and nursing from here. And yeah, super excited to be on it. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, it's so awesome to have you here, especially as like seniors, like at the end of your journey, and I'm like starting like my journey and trying to figure everything out, and like it's just so awesome to like hear your perspective about everything. But yeah, like you said, what is Mr. and Mrs. UST?
So basically the titles of Mr. and Miss UST are it's basically a process in which you've been involved a lot at the University of St. Thomas. You have, whether you have really high academic achievements, service commitment to, the Houston and UST community, athletic achievements. So like anything that makes you kind of stand out in some way to the UST staff, the UST community, and in which you've, benefited a large amount of students, for example, that effort is recognized. So a select pool is basically nominated to apply for the position, and throughout an interview process, eventually one Mr. UST and of course one Miss UST are eventually selected. So it's I'm very honored to have been awarded this title, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, congratulations. So you said that like it's a person who like stands out and is like really involved. Margaret, like what are you involved? Give me some examples.
So besides being a nursing student and fulfilling all the requirements that we need to do, like our clinical rotations and the didactics that we have to learn, the last 2 years of my time here at UST, I've been really involved in the Office of Campus Ministry and served multiple roles there. One is the intern retreats, which was amazing. I got to plan and run on, and it personally invites many students, and we have these weekends where we can grow together in community and grow our relationship with God. And then this year I had a different role, and it was the role of peer minister. There's about 8 of us, and we run small groups. So that was really awesome. With COVID, we were able to minister and to have a lot of good outreach, as well as service opportunities in the greater Houston area.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm in a small group right now. I'm in Eileen's small group, and I absolutely love it, and it's so much fun. So I'm so glad. Okay, what about you, Youssef?
Yeah. I'm really basically proud of, academically, in terms of being able to help students as a peer mentor for the STEM Success Center, as a teaching assistant for the biology department. So I'm really proud about that. Through Club Sports Association, founding and continuing dodgeball club throughout my 4 years here was really, I feel like, impactful, and made a lot of students have fun, and despite of all sorts of exams and all sorts of stressors that come up during college. And aside from that, also just really being involved in student government as well, really finding my voice there, really finding a way to voice constituents' concerns on campus, and really connecting the student body and the administration, and just helping facilitate that connection was really important to me. So just those 3 aspects I feel like I can speak to.
Yeah, Yusuf actually helped me get my role as a as a student government. I'm a freshman center, so he helped me out with that, and he was awesome. He's so good at that. But that's awesome. So now we're like kind of like towards the end of the journey. Let's get started at the beginning. How did we end up here at UST? Like, where did it all begin, Yusuf?
Great question. So I went to Clear Lake High School. It's not too far actually from St. Thomas, like 40 minutes down south, I-45. And I was looking through colleges, looking through universities, and I really wanted something. I of course wanted to make the best choice for me. And the best choice for me was really, more of a smaller university, smaller class sizes, to be able to build those connections better with fellow students, especially with fellow faculty and staff. And I feel like that was the environment I could thrive the best in. And of course, looking back, I definitely made the right decision, for me at least. And the University of St. Thomas also, when I went on a tour, I believe it was the spring of my last year of high school. The campus was amazing. It was really beautiful. Everything around the campus is really like great, in terms of, walking around. You see the chapel, you see the labyrinth, you see the new science building that they built in the year of 2017, which is when my incoming class would come in. So all this stuff was incredible. And finally, the really great preparation for the health sciences. So for me, I knew since senior year of high school through like shadowing and stuff that I wanted to eventually go into medicine. And through UST's, really strong health professions advisory committee, really strong biology, really strong, basically pre-medical clubs. It's really helped me solidify that medicine is for me. Combine that with the small class sizes, combine that with the interdisciplinary education that UST offers, that's well-rounded, that complements the hard sciences. I felt like that was for me. So that's why I chose UST.
Hi, that's awesome. That's kind of similar why I chose it. The smaller class sizes, and it's so pretty. In the chapel, I love it. It's so beautiful. What about you, Margaret?
So actually, I didn't complete all 4 years here. I am a transfer student, so I'm originally from Ohio, and I completed my first year of school, the pre-nursing prerequisites, at the university in my hometown. And I felt like I was just being called somewhere else. I wasn't sure, and I just didn't feel right where I was. And so through some family connections, I heard about UST, and I was like, you know what, I did some research on the nursing school and the medical center, the largest medical center in the world. And I loved, the liberal arts core. I loved how it was, of course, a Catholic university, the small class size, like Youssef said. And so I came in the fall of 2018. 2017, and that was during my freshman year, and I got a tour and everything, and got a tour of the nursing buildings and this simulation centers, and I fell in love. It was just right away. I was like, it just felt so right. And then I applied. I feel like I call it like that God pulled all the strings. I never thought I could have done it. Never thought I could have done it. And I applied. I passed my nursing entrance exams, packed a couple suitcases, flew 2 hours, and my life was changed, honestly.
That's so awesome. I love that story. That's so good. I'm so glad that you ended up here and it like worked out. That's all good.
Me too.
And throughout your journey here at UST, Margaret, who has been like the most influential person?
So I'd have to say, just quickly, I want to mention two. Academically, I would say, especially near the end, Dr. Sullivan, he's in the nursing program, and he's just an inspiration, and he's such a strong support, and he just calls us students onto, our greater calling. He really changed my view on nursing and what it is, like what my vocation is and how to approach it. And then non-academically, I would have to say Max Linville. He's the assistant campus minister, and I've known him and worked with him closely for 2 years, and he's just been such an amazing mentor spiritually for me, helped me grow my relationship, in campus ministry, relationship with God, and really brought me out of myself, and called me on for greater things, like called me on to, you can do this, you got this, you can lead this small group, you can give these talks, you can, reach the students. He's been really, both those two people, amazing, phenomenal people.
That's so good. Oh yeah, I've met Matt. Max is so awesome. He's great. Yeah. What about you, Youssef?
Well, since Margaret gave two, I also want to give two, but quickly. There are basically two faculty in the biology department that have really shaped me both personally and academically. I mean, really from day one, it was Dr. Shiva Samin. And he's been there, ever since I was a freshman, still there for me now, of course. And he's helped me throughout, personal dilemmas I've had in my life, just being able to sit in his office for a couple of hours and just kind of like vent about it if I need to. But at the same time, he's helped, guide my early interest in biology, help me solidify, this is a path that I really want to take. And he is kind of like, he already, I feel like he understands kind of where I'm coming from. And that's a really, really like a relatability aspect. So I really, really love that. The second one really quickly is Dr. Edward Nam. and he's been involved in so many things in my undergraduate career, from being my research advisor, from being my club advisor for Tri Beta, and really just teaching some of my courses too. So he's been very monumental, and we still keep in touch today. So those are the two.
Good. I'm glad. That's so awesome that y'all had people to help you through this journey. And what has been like the highlight, the happiest moment, event, day here at St. Thomas?
I believe I can go ahead and vouch for that. So I believe, of course, there are many happy moments, but if I were to recall one that first comes to mind when you ask that question, really stems from, okay, the dodgeball club that I founded with my team, and have a great time with always. Of course, like pre-COVID, COVID now it's kind of, we still keep in touch, virtually, but pre-COVID, we would host tournaments pretty regularly. So some tournaments would be fundraising for different nonprofits. So Star of Hope, for example, we had a bunch of those in 2019. But then, we also collaborated with so many organizations. So like the Psychology Honor Society, Residence Life, and so many others. So I think like a really good, peak tournament that we had was, for example, the collaboration we had with the Psychology Honor Society. So many people came out. You not only had students, you had faculty, you had staff, you had friends of friends that were coming from other universities. It was just a really good time. You could tell everyone was having a lot of fun. And you could tell that we really put together a great thing in which people really enjoyed. And I feel like a lot of people that are kind of scared of dodgeball, just hearing about it, like not wanting to get hit, really came out and had a great time regardless. So it was also great from that aspect too. And it was a really great way to build community within UST in a very literal sense.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check out those dodgeball tournaments. That sounds like so much fun.
It's going to be taken over by 2 new officers this upcoming year, so it should be continuing.
Good. I'm glad. I'll definitely be there then. What about you, Margaret?
As he was talking, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many. How do I find one? I mean, it's so many, from learning skills in sim lab, getting my first IV stick, which is kind of nerdy type of nursing thing to be happy about. But like besides those, like honestly, just the community, like I can't say like there's one event or like one thing, but just spending time in Oxford campus ministry and like just having some people walk in and feel welcomed, and playing music in the background and people just talking and having a good time. Father Paul there, like everyone joking around. And then I would definitely say like one of the best moments was this last retreat that we had. It was like my last retreat of college. I don't know if it's just me being nostalgic, but it was just so good to see that we pushed through all of the trials with COVID, and we'd made this event happen, this weekend retreat, and we'd all come together, and it was like 140 of us all together. Well, I don't know exactly if it was that many. Don't quote me on that. But and it was just so good. I remember feeling like just so blessed to have all these amazing people that have shaped me. And that was, if I had to pinpoint one, that would have been that weekend retreat from this last semester.
That's so fun. That's awesome. And okay, so y'all have been through a lot. Y'all have had some awesome, happy moments. But what advice, if you could go back in time, talk to your freshman self, what would you say to them? Or what advice would you give to someone like me, like starting out fresh on their journey? Margaret?
So I would say 2 things, actually. I would say, one, pray more. I don't know what your religious stance is. I see Lady of Guadalupe in the background, so I'm gonna assume pray more. And always, the answer to everything is more prayer. Always. And I wish I had known that would have been the answer to so many of my big issues. And then the second thing I would say is, I would say don't view your trials and the challenges as evils to be avoided, but really as tools for betterment. I wish I'd seen that. I wish I had seen, not like, oh my gosh, my life is so hard, nursing school's so hard, like this and this and this, drama. Like I wish I had translated that into something like more of a challenge, and I would have risen to the occasion instead of just complaining about it, because really, like, that's what life is about, the challenges, those big moments of like achieving those goals and making, or even just making those grades, or getting involved where you want, or it can be anything. And so I wish I'd seen, like, had a better view of what trials really are. But yeah, I'd have to say those things.
Can you like give some examples about like what you mean about that?
Um, I think with besides just the studying, like just kind of seeing that these big huge exams and being scared of them, and being nervous and like and of course yours doesn't have that, but definitely like trusting more. I wish I trust more, and I wish that I had seen them as something more exciting to get excited for. Like I don't really know how to describe it. So that, and then I mean, there's definitely been low points like missing my family. Like that was so hard, and I think it took me a while to be like, instead of thinking like, oh, I miss my family so much, instead of being like, okay, this is my time to, really gain my independence, gain my autonomy. It came like with time, but I wish I had embraced it sooner, and kind of like, instead of like playing kind of more the victim of my situation, because it was hard. It was really hard because I am so close with my family. So I guess those would be a couple examples that I can come up with.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, of course. I liked how you have like that different perspective on like those challenges, like what you said about finals. Like I'm definitely gonna keep that in mind while I'm taking my finals this week. What about you, Youssef?
If I could repeat Margaret's, trials and tribulations and resilience part word for word, I probably would, because it was put really well. And I'd say that just really quickly giving an example about that personally, like a challenge for me in relation to the university was it was more of like the restructure, the call towards tomorrow restructure. Of course, there's a lot of benefit for you know in regards to its implementation, increasing undergraduate enrollment at UST, a lot of awesome things that are happening. But at the same time, some things needed to be sacrificed in order to achieve that goal. One of those sacrifices hit me pretty personally, just because it was, one of my dear faculty. But it was just, a lot of dialogue that happened, a lot of conversations that needed to happen, a lot of listening, and a lot of open ears through open forums that they hosted for the students. It was a really big thing. There was a lot of like 3 open forums that they hosted just because it was in high demand. Like it wasn't just me. It wasn't even just the biology department. It was like all departments. It was like a campus wide thing. So I'd say really embracing that those challenges and reflecting on what you learned from it, and ultimately how it's going to build your character, and how it really built my character. Like I feel like I've changed a little bit ever since that, for the better. So that, and then in addition to that, really quickly, advice I'd give to an incoming student, like kind of, if I was coming in, is to really, people tell you not to do this, but like stretch yourself too thin. I think you should at first. I think you should explore a lot of avenues at first while you have more time. So like I got involved with a lot of stuff, like, athletics, sports, basketball club, dodgeball club, judicial council, so much stuff. And from there, I was really able to like filter through what I really found myself dedicating more and more time to, just, subconsciously what I found more enjoyment to. And I filtered through that throughout the 4 years. So really, again, I would recommend stretching yourself thin at first, exploring a lot of things, because of course, as we know, university is a time for exploration. So taking advantage of that early on freshman year, and then filtering through, as opposed to the other way around, which I feel like is less efficient.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense, and it's good to keep in mind, and that's way you like know what you like and what you're gonna do. That's awesome. All right, so what's next for y'all? What's next, Margaret? What are you gonna do after you? Because Saturday y'all are walking, right? And then what's next?
Well, I actually have been offered and accepted a job here at the Texas Medical Center. I'm so excited at Memorial Hermann in the the MIMU. So I'll be starting that mid-July, and I'm so excited. Definitely nervous, but very excited, very, very excited. So there's that, and then just really excited to spend the time with my family at graduation and try and kind of, I guess you could say, like enjoy a little bit of my summer before I get my career going. So but that's my big step that's starting. So I'm so excited for that. And then I'm hoping just to get involved in Houston area, try to do still continue with my service opportunities that I started here at UST, and but definitely just focus on that job because I know it's going to be intense. So excited though.
That's so awesome. Congratulations. That's like a big deal.
Yes, thank you so much.
What about you, Yusuf?
So unfortunately for Margaret, I will also be in the Texas Medical Center. And I will be pursuing my MD degree at Baylor College of Medicine. So I'm really happy about that. To be, again, as Margaret put it, the largest medical center in the world, which is really, really impressive. I was blown away by, the density of clinical opportunities and research opportunities there. So I'll be there. So that'll take 4 years. And I'm really happy to also be near the University of St. Thomas at the same time. So just like having that connection still there physically, maybe if I want to go visit, not that I'll have a lot of time as a medical student, but we can all have hopes at the very beginning. Just like having that proximity there is pretty nice in my opinion. So yeah, and then just thinking maybe down the road, maybe specializing in psychiatry or orthopedic surgery. But my mind is really open as far as the future, and I'm really excited for what's to come.
That's really awesome too. Dang, I'm so impressed. That is so awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, so thank y'all so much for being here. It's been just so awesome to talk with y'all, just to like hear about all of your accomplishments and everything that's been going on, and like how your experience has been at UST. It's been awesome, especially for me being a freshman. Like I have no idea what's going on, and it's been good to like see someone who's like has made it and is like crossed like the finish path. So thank y'all.
Of course, thank you so much as well for having us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, my friends, this has been a UST Bold podcast. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Isabel. Bye.